Learn how to make this long kimono with zipper sleeves using our free kimono pattern. For the best modest fashion DIY tutorials, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a video. Let's get into it. You can download the free kimono pattern in the description below this video to follow along with this tutorial. I printed the pattern out and cut it in my size. Make sure the scale is correct by checking the size on the 3-inch square. The kimono has long sleeves, so here I'm adding 14 inches to the length because the sleeves will be gathered with the zipper. On the original kimono, there are side seam pockets. If you remember from last week, I changed this to a patch pocket. So right now I'm just drawing the way the patch pocket looks. Right now I'm folding it for the pocket hem. The pocket hem is going to be a 1/2 inch folded. So I'm cutting 1 inch and then folded it again and then cutting so that everything lays even. This kimono is longer than the original pattern, so I'm adding 13 inches to the length. To get the length that you need, you would have to measure from your back neck to where you want your kimono to end up. To get the curve of the hem, I'm measuring 13 inches all around so I can mimic the hem of the kimono. Now I just have to cut this out. When cutting, make sure you mark all notches, and I like to put a notch at the center back just so I know what the center is. Now I'm adding the same length to the front of the kimono. Here I'm cutting out the pocket. Make sure that it follows a straight grain, the same as the front of the kimono. Here I'm cutting out the sleeve. This is also on the straight grain, same as the front of and the back of the kimono. This is the front piecing. We have to add the same length that we added to the front and the back. So that would be 13 inches. Fold the sleeve at the shoulder seam, which is marked on the pattern with a circle. Make sure you fold the sleeve piecing evenly so you can cut a straight line to make room for the gathers and the zipper. Now we're going to take this over to the machine where we're going to sew the shoulder seams and the front piecing. I'm sewing everything at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. We're going to press open the back seam and fold, and then we have to press. Here I'm finishing the edges of the shoulder seam. Here I'm going to press the front piecing for the full length, fold it in half, and then press.
You're gonna come closer. You're gonna stare forever.
We have to press the hem for the pocket. First press it down 1 inch and then fold and press it again for the 1/2 inch hem. Before we sew down the sides, we have to add the trim so that it's a clean finish. So I'm gonna cut it here, pin it down, and then top stitch it. After you finish sewing down the trim, fold the hem at the edges and just sew down so that you have a clean finish at the top. Because there's a lot of bulk, clip the ends so that when you turn it over, it turns over a little bit more smoothly. Once everything's turned over, you can top stitch it so everything's a clean finish for the hem. One thing I realized is I sewed the side seam, so I had to take that out. I didn't show it here, but if you see the press, I had to take that out. Now I'm just top stitching the pocket onto the front, using the notches for the placement. It's about a 1/16 of an inch from the edge. I'm only sewing 2 sides, the bottom and the other side. It's optional, but I'm going to use, I'm gonna sew it again at a 1/4 inch from the edge so that it's a double needle. I think it just looks better for this, but that's totally up to you. So you do the same to the other side, and now you have both pockets sewn on the front. So here I have the back trim. I cut a 7-inch piece, and I'm folding it about a 1/2 inch and adding the D-ring. Just top stitching it on. It's the bottom piecing. Now I'm adding it to the center back. Just match it up at the notch and pin it down. Get it as straight as you can. Then we take it back to the machine and top stitch it. Once we sew the trim, we're going to add the front piecing. Just make sure that you match up the seam with the back notch and the notches on the front. Now we're going to add the gathers on the sleeve. Set your machine to the widest stitch and sew 2 rows. One 1/4 inch from the edge and another one 1/2 inch from the edge. And you do that for both sides.
The world is full of fighting, ignorance and greed. But right here on the dance floor, the rhythm's all you need.
To get the gathers, you're going to pull the thread on the right side of the fabric to the length of the zipper. I made the zipper the same length of the finished measurement of the original kimono sleeve. So I made the gathers and I made sure that it fit the zipper. Here we have a double bias tape that I'm going to finish the gathers with on the sleeve. This is optional. You can actually just use a serger or a zigzag stitch. I just like to have it finished so when the zipper is open, you don't see all of the stitching. Now I'm going to just top stitch the bias tape to the raw edge of the sleeve. I'm going to pin in the middle of the bias tape and in the middle of the sleeve so that I can spread the gathers evenly. So you add the bias tape to both sides of the sleeve, and now I'm going to pin the zipper on top because I want the zipper tape to show. So I'm lining up the zipper tape with the edge of the bias tape and pinning it together. If you're liking this video, please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, please ask in the comments below. Now that it is all pinned, I'm going to top stitch it with about 1/8 of an inch top stitch. Don't forget to set your machine back to the original stitch length. I've top stitched both sides of the zipper tape, and as you can see, it's a clean finish. Now I just have to clean up all of the loose threads that showed through that did not catch. And you do that for both sleeves. Now that we have the front piecing is now pressed, and now we're going to add the sleeve to the body. Match all the notches. The back has 2 notches, the front has 1. And you match the center of the zipper at the shoulder seam. We're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew it at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now I'm going to serge the raw edge of the sleeve seam. Just be careful going over the zipper teeth with your serger so you don't break the needle and mess up the cutter. So just take it really slow. So now we're pinning together the side seam and the sleeve seam. Match all the seams, the under arm seam and the side seam, and we're going to sew it at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So now we're going to hem. We're going to fold it up a 1/2 inch and fold it again a 1/2 inch for a total of 1 inch. And we're going to go around the whole bottom of the kimono. We're going to do the same thing for the sleeve. Right now I'm just removing a little bit of the bulk so it's easier to fold, but it's still 1 inch hem. So we're going to fold it twice, 1/2 inch, pin it down, and then top stitch it. I like to sew on the right side of the fabric so that it's a clean stitch. Just sew a 1/2 inch away from the edge and do that all the way around the whole kimono and the sleeve as well. Press both seams, and there you have your finished kimono. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, ask in the comments. See you in the next video.